This is Rogue Wing, Coraline, or Helen RD over at Starship Modeler. Welcome to the workshop. Greetings! At this point, it's time to start working on my entry for the 2012 edition of the Big Spring Model Contest over at Scale Model Addict. First off, to show today's date, April 1st, 2012, and the unstarted kit, parts still in the bags. What I will be doing is I will be taking the Mobius Battlestar Galactica along with the Timeslip Creations aftermarket turrets, along with the Paragraphics photo etch set, and converting the Galactica to a ship that should come as no surprise to anybody who's followed my videos, the Battlestar Solaria. Biggest difference between the Solaria and the Galactica are the fact Solaria is fully armed, or armored I should say, and her flight pods are fixed in position, and there are these additional pods to help hold her in place. I did an earlier version using the 1/9600th kit from Alliance. This is actually a blown up picture of the model, but decided that the time had come to actually do the bigger version of the Solaria. I also intend to light the flight pods, engines, and the windows in the alligator head. So all in all, this should be an ambitious little project, which will be starting the next day or two. And back with the build. I can't really call it a build, I'm still pretty much in planning stages. But decided, well, I've got a decision to make is what it boils down to. The fine panel detail on the Galactica is going to be difficult to replicate. At this point, I've got two options really. I figure I can either A, go in and fill these areas with Aves epoxy sculpt or something similar, and then create a texture stamp of some of the tile detail to create tile detail on the armor editions. Or I can take some of this, which is Tamiya's brickwork for dioramas, and basically make some templates and cut this to go down on the hull where I want the new armor to be. The one drawback I can see to using the brick pattern is the fact it's very regular and doesn't have a lot of fine detail, although the brick depth itself is on a par with the panel detail on the pieces. I've got to figure that out before I move on to actually working on her, because before I start assembling, I'm going to need to get the armor plating in place. One other thing, having done two of these gives me an advantage with, lies in the leftovers from the previous sheet. On the top of the Galactica's hull, and that's buried at the bottom of the box, on the top of the Galactica's hull here, right below the Colonial emblem, is another Galactica nameplate. Now, the standard sheet of photo etch from Paragraphics only comes with 2 of each nameplate and 2 of each decal for the names. Now, having a second set of this, I've got a spare nameplate I can use for underneath that emblem. The other advantage this gives me is I can also replace the BSG-75 markings on the runways with the appropriate BS-47. That being the number I gave Solaria. But at this point, until I figure out how I want to tackle that plating, I'm kind of dead in the water. Real quick progress update. Actually making some progress now. May not look like much, but that square of clay with the silicone rubber in it is going to be the basis of my texture stamp, so I can create the panel detail when I build it out of Aves Epoxy Sculpt. Just decided after looking at the brick detail that Aves would be a better way to go. So stay tuned. Hello there. Okay, promise this will be the last time we don't see anything built or done with this model. Main point of this, and I'm hoping the camera will show it, is the texture stamp. Cut it out of the mold and then tested it in the clay here. And I don't know how well it's showing in the camera, but I do have an impression there that fairly well mimics the plating on the ship. So, next update, there's probably going to be some blue Aves on the pieces of the model, because I want to do the Aves work before I actually start the actual construction. Because a lot of the plating is going to be harder to get at if I do it after the construction.